Now number 3, this is one, it gives you, again, it's another problem where they're talking about the average cost of a vacation, and in that cost is food and lodging for a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 children. They give the mean and standard deviation. It's money. It's a continuous distribution, excuse me. And what we're going to do here is we're going to read the 2 problems. Now, if we can't do the problem, in other words, remember, if we don't know anything about the distribution, we can't assume that it's normal. That means in order to evoke the central limit theorem, our sample size has to be greater than or equal to 30. So there could be a problem. If one of the problems has a sample size less than 30, we can't do it. So your answer to that problem would be probability cannot be determined with the given information. So this is a definite sampling distribution of the sample mean problem. The only thing that you're going to have to do is see the sample sizes. And if one is less than 30, then you just say can't do it. Probability can't be determined, and we tell you it's right. The other one, then you'll have to go to your commands, do them, put your answer in the complete sentences, but show your commands and the answer in the sessions window, and paste that in for this problem. Now problem number 4 is in your book. It was on the PowerPoint. I told you to look at it. Well, we put it into the MINITAB 3, and this problem is going to actually show you a sampling distribution of the sample means, how it works. And you're going to see it's a pretty good, even in the simplistic example, how well the sampling distribution does to approximate mu. And if you did a true sampling distribution, that you would actually see that the mu of that sampling distribution is exactly the mean of the population. But this, we're just taking only 10 samples of size 4 from this population. So we're taking 10 samples and we're going to make a histogram of it and see that the mean of that histogram, or the middle part of that histogram, is approximately equal to the mean of the population distribution here. So in MINITAB, we assume these student scores right here, 10 of them, are our population, and you're going to take samples. You're going to eventually get 10 samples of size 4. Then you're going to do a histogram of those samples of size 4, the means of those, the means of each of those samples, and then you're going to do a histogram of the sample. Now, the way I would suggest that you do it is you get your sample, and remember how we do that. So I'm going to do 4 samples of size 5. So I write sample size 5 taken from C2 and put it into, let's say, C5. And I'm going to call it sample 1. And I'm going to do, like I said, I'll do 4. I guess I'll do 4 different samples just like that. I'm going to go on and do 5 samples. It would be better. Now, I'll do the sample going in to C5. So there's my first sample there. And I can find the mean of that sample. And what I'm going to do is, right as I'm doing that, I'm going to make a column of all the means. I could type, of samples of size 5. So this first one is going to be, the mean is 64.2. Then I'll do my next sample. I'm going to do a sample of size 5 taken from C2, and I'm going to put it into, this time, C6. And then I want to get the mean of C6. And then I take that mean and I put it right into here, right into my column here. And I'm going to do that 5 times. And all of this that I have in the sessions window, I'm going to eventually have to copy into my report. Or you guys. So I've taken samples of size 5, I've calculated the means, I put it into C11. Now also part of the problem asks for the mean of the mean of the population is 69.4. Now let's just look at what the mean of C11 is, of our sampling distribution. The mean of our sampling distribution is almost 69. This isn't even, we haven't even exhausted how many different samples of size 5. But we're getting awfully close with just 5 of the samples. So the sampling distribution does get us pretty close to the mean. But the problem is, we can see it with the numbers of doing the mean, but they want you to make a histogram. We want you to make a histogram. So very quickly, I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to say I want to do a histogram, because I want to do it quickly. I go in here, So I've got my histogram. I want it up to sample means. Okay. Remember, whenever we do a histogram, we want to make the title distribution of. So we're going to change all this stuff out. And I might not want to have so many classes, so I'm going to go in here. I'll change my binning. The thing was messed up, but there we have it with 5 different bins, and we still, like I said, we still can see that the midpoint is somewhere between 68 and 70, probably somewhere around 70, 69 or so, just by looking at the histogram. So then you answer to that. Make sure you show all your commands for getting the means and the samples and all that for this problem. So that concludes the help for the MINITAB 3.